Today I'm joined with Sedem Balfour. Hello, Sedem. How are you doing?
Yeah, Joseph, I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm also good. I'm also good. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Can you kindly introduce yourself so that we know the audience can know a little about who is being interviewed?
Okay, so I'm Sedem, and I consider myself, I don't want to use polymath because that's cliche, but like I'm enthused by quite a number of things. I don't like boxing myself out, so I can be a product manager at one time, then I'm a product designer, then I'm doing this graphic design. It depends. Yeah, I wear many hats, depending on what I have to do, but then I take up like a particular version of me at that, I mean, at that particular time. But I
Yeah.
think what I'm best known for will be I consider myself an entrepreneur in training because I'm always juggling ideas and trying different things out. So yeah, eventually it looks like one day, either tomorrow or very soon or in a long time, but one day I'll definitely be spearheading a solution that will be impacting humanity one way or the other.
Okay. Yeah.
So that I
That.
think that's what it's about.
All right. That's really cool. Okay. Just going back on what you said, you mentioned you're a polymath, or you like to consider yourself as a polymath. What exactly is a polymath?
You see, that's what I was trying to avoid, right? Because the current definition for a polymath, I don't think cuts it entirely for me. The
Oh,
more
okay.
is a so I think I did rather consider myself a solutionist, right? So
Okay.
basically, a polymath is an individual whose knowledge spans many different subjects.
Okay.
So basically, they are known to draw on complex bodies of knowledge to solve specific problems. Yeah, yeah. So it works. So
Oh,
I
okay.
either I consider myself a polymath or like somebody that just have like a large, diverse again, not like a streamlined towards one particular thing, but like
Yeah.
yeah, the world is big enough. So why should you put
Y-
constraint or limits on what you can do?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, but I think usually the advice we hear from people is we should like pick a specific domain and try to master it as much as possible. And then that's how we can actually like find success, right? That's how we can become the best at what we do.
I
So
think okay. I think what makes me say them again. I mean, I believe in. There's something I used to say. My friends tell you are not special, but at best you are unique. So we are all unique in our own ways.
yeah,
But at the core, I mean, you are cartilage, flesh, and bones. You are human at
yeah,
best. Yeah, so
yeah,
you are not special, but you're unique. So I don't believe there are templates, right? I
yeah.
don't believe in when it comes to life as a journey in itself. I wouldn't want to be known or remembered as someone who followed blueprints, but
Mm,
I would want to be remembered as someone who carved out an identity for themselves and impacted the generation in which they found themselves. Because every generation comes with their own, unique problems, right?
yeah,
That you need to solve or you need to attend to. So you can't be. I mean, it's a good thing to have a blueprint, gives you a direction, but you can't basically try to become someone else in a generation. Because blueprints are always old, like they are before you. So you
hmm,
wouldn't want to become someone before you, trying to solve a problem of a generation that comes after that blueprint. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, people say that they tell me that a lot most of the time. You need to identify yourself with something, which is not a bad thing, but there's nothing also wrong if you identify with many things. Who made the rules, right?
yeah.
No, yeah, who made the rules? So yeah, I think don't want to use neurodivergence, but like I've just never been like the normal person. Like
Okay,
there's always been a twist. Like I mean, if you ask people that have known me all over the years, I'm just
yeah,
not as you would want people like a normal person to be. Like
yeah. You don't follow the
and
status quo.
and I'm fine. I'm fine by that. Yeah, I don't feel the status quo.
Okay, that's really interesting. All right, so I think you said you are more of like an entrepreneur in training, right?
Yeah,
Can you shed a little bit of light on that? I think you mentioned that one day, whether soon, whether later, whether later, we are definitely going to see you spearheading a solution that's going to impact a lot of people, right?
definitely.
Yeah. So can
I
you
mean, I've
like,
done that on a small scale already. That's
yeah.
why I consider myself an entrepreneur in training. So over the years, I
Oh,
think over the past 5, 6 years, I've been involved in a few initiatives here and there that might have touched a soul or two, one way or the other. Be it
okay.
from building solutions and helping with training, quite a number. So I think you are forcing me to list the things I've worked on, so I don't have a choice. I just have to. I've been trying to be in stealth mode all these years because
Yeah.
I, for one, I'm sure by now you should know I don't fancy attention that much
Uh-huh.
because I believe in showing than talking.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather show you something than talk about it. But over the years, so I mean, it all started in the university basically.
Okay.
First year, we had a hackathon with Hacklab Foundation, which eventually I became the ecosystem manager for. You see how the world works? It's a funny place. So, first year participants, final year became ecosystem manager for Hacklab Foundation. Very beautiful experience.
Yeah.
So started with Amos, Edu, Isaac Etua, who eventually left after we were done with our first year, and continued his education at Miami, Computer Science, University of Miami, and then
Okay.
he's currently at Google. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Amos
Yeah.
Benefo, yeah. Alfred.
Yeah,
Alfred
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
currently doing masters in Iowa. Can't remember the name of the university. Masters in CS.
Okay.
So we did a hackathon, and prior to the hackathon, I've always been a fan of trying out new stuff. So decided to like I'm going to start a marketing agency because I think I'm not so good, but kind of good with words. I know how to sell. I think because I've always believed that selling is a very important skill that everybody needs to have. So me, if you ask me, the most necessary skill in this world right now, trust me, in as much as I did CS like you, the first thing you hear me saying is sales. Because then the whole world is pro trade, right?
Yeah.
We are all trading something, either even skills, either you are trading skills or you are trading. There's always something being there's always an exchange of either services or goods. That's basically just how the world moves around. So sales is like very, very huge for me. So yeah, I started marketing agency. The only reason I named it BrandAfrik was because it's quite simple. A brand from Africa. It's quite so I'm somebody who dreams not when I'm sleeping, right? I daydream.
Uh-huh.
I think others to call imagination. Like I'm awake and I'm just like I can
Yeah.
visual
Yeah. Visual.
like I
Yeah.
do a lot.
Exactly.
So basically I'm just visualizing how best case scenario. I'll do best case scenario first and I'll do worst case scenario because I'm a realist. So I try to
Yeah.
see things from both perspectives. Yeah, so that was how Brand Afrik started. And we evolved into not only a marketing agency, but building stuff for small businesses since 2018, right?
Oh,
Since
wow. Okay.
2018. It has been a good ride for all these years. And aside Brand Afrik, I'm just giving an overview of a few things that I've done.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I can say this because not a lot of people know this, but well, I think that's what podcasts are for. So So, somewhere I think we're on vacation. So I had an accident. I think was it June or July. Right after we were done with our first year in the university. That's like first semester, second semester. You know that long vacation.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
A roof came in with me. A roof came in with me at Laboni, and
Whoa.
I think I was in coma for was it 2 or 3 days at 37. So I was shuffled in between 37 and Sunshine hospital at airport. So full body scan. I was in coma. I think about 7 doctors. was bloody. It's kind of. I think the only reason I
Yeah.
survived was because I was unconscious because I lost a lot of blood and all of that stuff. So
Wow.
after that episode, when I was discharged, I think when I woke up, I started asking myself a few questions. I'm like, let's assume I was dead right now. What next?
Yeah.
Probably forgotten. A few years later, if someone sees someone looking at me, I say, "Oh, this guy looks like Sedem." So I decided, no, I'm going to leave. When I say leave, I'm going to not hold back.
Yeah.
Whatever ideas and problems I think I could actually help solve in the world, I'm going to do my best to actually put them out there and see how it pans out. So right from the hospital, I think I had a call from Maxwell then. I think Maxwell is Access Bank then. He was my senior in the university. The StudExpress.
Mm.
StudExpress wanted someone to join them to handle operations. So yeah, I joined StudExpress. There was no clear cut role for me. Eventually, I became like a CEO. So I was handling the whole thing operations. Then was what's the name? There was something that GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, used to champion back in the days called Young Entrepreneur Forum (YEF). So I signed up for one of those and submitted, a business plan that to be in relation to StudExpress. And
Okay.
then let's have okay, StudExpress was originally started by Kenneth Chuku, a Nigerian that was in KNUST. He was
Okay.
the ISC president, International Student Association at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he was 2 years or 3 years ahead of me. But we became very good friends. We were doing business together, so eventually I have to take over from him and handle the whole thing. So we're at the pitch session at Labadi, and guess what? I was the only university student. Everybody else was a full-time entrepreneur or something. So
Wow.
it was crazy. I didn't get to win the competition, but somebody in the crowd from Netherlands loved my deck so much that we just had to have a competition, and I ended up raising money from her. Just a woman, a
Yeah.
lady. That's
Yeah.
an angel investor. So that's how come I ended up raising money, the first ever rounds money I've ever taken.
Yeah.
I raised when I was that was when I was in level 200 in the university. And yeah, but then once again I told you I shy away a lot from publicity and attention. So we did our best to keep that under wraps. Because I remember when we did a YEF event, there was an opportunity to be featured on a Joy Business Van. But yeah, as you can guess, your man was not interested. So
Yeah.
I didn't follow up with you. Then I think how we have 1 hour, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'll try and speed this up. So you will get to. I'm just trying to give you a whole overview so that you can have more context to ask the necessary questions, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Over
Definitely.
the days. I hope this won't be so boring to whoever is listening. Um, then I did one of the craziest things ever. Now it's about to be public. Lord save me. Uh, I built something that you you wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know how you might feel about it. But because of this particular thing, I'm sure you have seen it before in KNST, but you
Yeah.
had no idea.
I know. I know. I know what you're talking about. I actually think
Oh,
you were the
okay.
one behind it.
How did you know? That's okay. So, oh, that's how you see me, film.
That's.
No problem. Good to know. Good to know. Actually, good to know. I'm happy. It's
Oh
good
no no
when you
no
get.
no 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 no! I mean, it doesn't change my
I
perception
mean,
about you or
it does
anything. It's
not.
just
Yeah, yeah, I get you. But it's the Ghanaian, the cultural nuance. It's Ghanaians, right? How we,
yeah
the
yeah
how
yeah 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 yeah.
our paradigm, how we look at things. So, quick story. I was at a pharmacy to buy a pill for an allergy, skin itching allergy. And there was this guy before me that was like, nah, they should serve me first. And the pharmacist was like, first come, first serve. So
Mhm.
guy got angry and stepped out. And I bought my stuff. I was like, yo, I met him at the entrance. What do you want to buy? So he wanted to buy condom. I was sure. I'm like, okay, so if I do something that helps you buy anonymous, will you buy? I was like, oh, forget anonymous. So long as it tells to that him buy without showing his face. I mean, being there
Yeah, he's
physically.
fine. Yeah.
So that was a long time. That was like over 200. And I had this idea. I designed a UI, but it took so long. We bought a domain down. My friends used to call me the devil salesman because of this. Because you know how we look at
Hey.
the whole. It's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, not in a bad light. Sort of an admiration, but like the
Oh,
salesman. That's
okay, okay, yeah.
not like a bad thing. That it's people that are super super close to me. I'm speaking of Zion, Chloe, and I mean, Boama
Okay,
and Co.
okay,
Yeah. So we that was what gave birth to XOXOGH. It's still live, but I have plans of closing it this year. I think it has outlived its usefulness. It was a nice little experiment that span over a few years and gave me some few coins. I appreciate that. Time to move on. So SOSO was a platform that allowed people in the university campus to buy sexual reproductive health products anonymously. I like to say the motto for XOSO is protecting dreams and propelling futures. That's how I see it. It was the lost
okay.
work. XOSO was the lost work for me. And it was a bank. When we launched it in Kenya, it's the same night it went live. We had our first order from Katanga. I can't forget.
Oh, wow.
Late in the night, it was 11 p.m. But yeah, we were selling anonymity and speed, so it was quite good. When I left university, we made it open and added all other investees, and UCC was a blast. And then we couldn't do so well in Legon, but KNST UCC, yeah, was what actually did well.
Yeah,
So that's about XUSO, which I don't like talking about. Because the brand is so anonymous, you cannot even pinpoint it to me unless I tell you. Because you go to the website, you basically see nothing. There's nothing like contacts or anything. It was an I believe it's one of the most amazing stuff I've ever worked on. Yeah. Then what else did I work on? Yeah, and then the school club. The school club is still live. For whoever is listening, they could check it out. The URL is the same as the how they call it the name, the skill.club. So
okay.
for skill club, again, I personally try to solve problems that I think every founder does that, things that they experience themselves or people around them. So you see, I think I was quite lucky when I was in university. I got the opportunity to do some work here and there with startups and was getting experience right from 200. But I noticed there were people that were even much more talented than me, but then for one way or the other, they could not just get this opportunity. So I was thinking, how do we democratize the opportunity so that everybody else that is willing and talented enough can have access to opportunities whilst they are still in school and build up their professional capabilities before leaving school. So we
Yeah,
came up with a win-win solution. We built a platform and built in a self-assessment tool that allows students and young grads to actually go and assess themselves, and we verify them for skills. So it's skill based. Verify them for that particular skill because the assessment is quite tough. And then we showcase their profiles to startups that are tech biased anyways. And then they hire them as interns and they get to work under professionals and earn experience, right? The necessary experience and build up their capabilities before leaving school. So it's a win-win solution. They get paid to keep on doing what they love and learn, and then the startups get to hire people that are willing to learn and are willing to go the long run to make an impact, but then are not expensive, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's what brought about the skill club. Yeah.
Okay.
And apart from skill club, what else? I think there are lots more, but I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
this
yeah.
boring and one-sided. So I'll talk about code and cocktail somewhere later. So
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
actually, over these past 5 6 years, that's what my life have been around. I've just been trying to solve problems, real problems that affect real people in society.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Wow, like I mean that's quite a portfolio. And I know you have left a few things out, but I mean already it's looking really impressive.
I prefer interesting, not impressive.
Okay, interesting. Already it's looking very interesting and diverse.
Diverse, I like that one. Because if you realize the things I'm building are not, in as much as all are driven by technology,
Yeah,
but then you are in different and diverse sectors.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
job tech
definitely.
and data stuff, and then there's sexual reproductive stuff, then there's digital agency, then there's a loyalty card stuff, like so yeah,
Yeah.
different Marvelous, yeah.
Okay, so in relation to StudExpress, right, what exactly was it about? Or what exactly is it about?
So StudXpress was and is. I said was and is because when I left university, eventually we couldn't sustain it. It's one of my earliest failures because I raised money for it, right?
Yeah.
But then it was one of the most difficult things that I have to learn to let go. I'm not even going to
Okay.
lie. I was so attached because I was so enthusiastic about it. So
Okay.
StudXpress was a very simple service. We signed MOU with vendors around campus in return to give discounts to students that have special cards, PVC cards that are printed by us with their necessary details on it, student ID for identification. All that was just for identification and security, right?
Yeah.
And then in return for the discount, we drive traffic to that particular business.
Yeah.
So let's say the Gobe Conti, we had a deal with the Gobe Conti. I can't remember the exact dates. I've forgotten the name. There's a name they used to call for it. Wow, I can't remember the exact date. So on a special day, if you are a Star Express card holder, you
Yeah.
go there, you get to buy the Gobe at 20% off. No matter the amount you buy, you pay less than 20%. Yep,
Yeah.
on that day. So it's people that had a card were able to plan their week strategically, focusing on where they are going to get the next discounts. That way, they end up saving money because it lasts for a whole year, the 2 semesters. The card, if you sign up for the card for it lasts 1 academic year. So
Oh,
sign
okay.
up, and we always advise people to sign up on a first semester. You get to enjoy. We had a deal with what do you call it, Barbecue City. We had a deal with the cinema. So you get to buy the cinema at the mall. What's the name? Watch and dine. You get to
Yeah.
buy the ticket discounts. There was so many. There was just so many. I can't even. We had a deal with Watch. What's the name?
Palace.
Watch Palace. We had a deal with Watch Palace. Like we had a deal with these guys that were close to Watch Palace. They sell pizza and I can't remember their name. I mean, it's been almost
Yeah.
2 years, right? So yeah, it's a bit easy. But yeah, that was basically the concept for StudXpress. Yeah.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was quite
Okay.
simple, but like, I mean, very effective solution.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned you actually raised funds for the that was the very first experience you had with raising funds, right? And it was an angel
Yes, yes,
investor.
yeah.
So, how what do you think was the main factor that helped you raise funds as a startup?
To be quite honest, that time when we call it as a startup, we were just solving a problem. I mean, we were not doing this fancy. It was a simple thing. Myself, Kenneth Chuku, then there's why do I keep forgetting his name? There's another guy, then there's George, then there was Francis Eshan that was
Uh-huh.
helping build the mobile app at that time. Yeah, it was not like a big staff, very simple group of people, mostly doing. StudXpress is the one venture that helped me hone my selling skills because I was basically selling all the time. Because of StudXpress, I've been to every single hall room in KNEST across all the halls, including the how they call it, this hostel. What's the name? The one for the rich kids. Um,
Um, is
Brunei.
it the internet? Oh.
I've been there all, every single room, because I had a clear strategy. Every morning I wake up, if I don't have lectures, Saturday weekends I leave my room 6 a.m. I have a map in my head. I start knocking on doors. I'm holding a brochure and I'm explaining. So I've explained so much that I don't need to look on the brochure again. The thing is now off my
Yeah, stuck in your head.
head. So I was selling one to one, like talking to you, explaining, and yeah, really, really, really. I think those days I'm even a better salesperson those days than I am now. Like I've lost my, the vim. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like an amazing experience. So the only I tell you when I went to pitch my pitch deck. So earlier on, I've always been somebody that been inquisitive, right?
Yeah.
So I do design pitch deck for work on pitch deck for companies on contract basis, even as of now, because I think it's something I'm very good at. I'm very good at putting pitch decks together.
Okay.
I won a pitch competition at how they call it Kumasi High
Okay.
for they call it elevator pitch, a pitch under 1 minute.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember I was teaching, I was giving yes, I'm good money. I'm not going to mention money on this thing, but I'm just trying to tell you, I'm naturally I think I'm good at like explaining stuff and getting straight to the point and just you know
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah yeah. I hope you get what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
around.
Basically, yes, yes, yes.
Our pitch deck was just like was graphical, was nice. The color, I mean, because I have I do a little bit of graphics, so I know what I'm doing there. So yeah, that's also what caught the attention of the investor. So she reached out after that pitch. I didn't get to get any money for the main event, which was YEF Young Entrepreneurs Forum. But
Okay.
somebody in the audience from Netherlands was so intrigued by my pitch, and then we kicked it off.
Okay.
So it's not like I was hunting for how they call it an investor.
Yeah,
But
it's just something that
the
yeah
world is a
happened.
beautiful place. Like you put yourself out there and that's why putting yourself out there remains one of the best things you can ever do for yourself when you can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. So when you finally got the funds, how did you actually manage it?
I was expressing that question. So I'm not even going to lie about that. I was a novice. I mean, good money came, and I can go out with the way I dream. That's why now I build systems to kind of like give me some constraints, right?
Yeah.
If you allow me, I can be dreaming as if I have billions of USD. And I love marketing, right? Because I've always been a big fan of marketing. Because I always tell my friends this: no matter how good a product is, if nobody knows about it, nobody
Yeah.
uses it, and nobody knows because it's not the best product that wins. To be honest, it's a combination of the product being good, being known, and having a community around it. That's a whole new thing we do not want to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a path we don't want to go on because it's a whole thing. I'm very passionate about building community around products. So let's not
Yeah.
even go there. But those days, I know nothing of that store, right? So we end up spending a lot of money on marketing that is not like it's not targeted, right?
Yeah.
We were just in all directions. So we spent a lot of money creating awareness. It did made us, I mean, brand popular, but as a brand, it's not a popularity contest. You want ROI on your spend.
Yeah.
By that time, I think, yeah, I was young, nuanced, and was just hyper. Wanted to get things done, but I was not strategic about it. So
Yeah.
most a chunk of the money went into uh, marketing the wrong way. Learned a lot of lessons from StudXpress, which I remain grateful for.
Okay. 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 So, given that experience, I wanted to ask what you would do differently now, and I think that also ties into some of the lessons you were able to learn from that experience. So, could you shed a little light on that?
Yeah, as I said, now I remember I was at an event at Three House. Was it 2 weeks ago? It's a mixer that they do. Maybe you should pass by. They are having it this Friday as well. It's free at
Okay.
Three Houses. So they have this mixer event in the evening for
What's the name?
professionals, the mixer people.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what you search on Instagram. You find them. It's free. So I
Okay.
was there and I met an investor from P1 Ventures. I don't know if you know if you are familiar with VCs. You might have heard of P1 before.
One
They
Ventures.
are
Okay.
sector agnostic. It means they don't have like a
Specific
particular
sector.
vertical
Oh,
that
okay.
so long as your products or service or whatever you're building shows promise and there's a large enough market for it, they are likely to actually invest in you.
Yeah.
And she was asking me, am I building anything? I'm like, like I don't think that because of what happened and over the years, I mean, every day you keep learning, right?
Yeah.
I read a lot. I read a lot, and I follow quite some amazing entrepreneurs, like the guy that built Obsidian, and I'm a huge fan of Derek Sivers. You should check him out. Derek is spelled Derek. Sivers is Sivers.
Okay.
and quite a number of them. My school of thoughts and how I think about things have actually evolved over the years. I'm not the person to go run after investment money these days, to be quite honest, even if it's readily available.
Yeah.
Uh, Bootstrapping, I've always been a big fan of bootstrapping, but now I'm even a bigger fan. It's not every venture that is VC worthy or investment worthy. Some things just have to be built from the ground up. And
Yeah.
when you need money, money will come. Yeah, I think that's my general thoughts about raising money. The mistakes, as I said earlier on, most mistakes, which I still see a lot of startups doing, is the same thing I'm talking about. It becomes a popularity contest for the brand.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money spent on, social media advertising engagements, all of that stuff. I remember when we raised money, we were advertising on. You remember there was a LED board in KNEST
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
forger. Yeah,
Yeah.
we yeah. You didn't you see StudExpress on that?
I did.
Yeah, we paid a huge chunk of money to make that happen. So, and as a builder or founder, I know you for everything you are building, you definitely will be emotionally involved. But you want to check
Yeah.
and you don't become too emotionally involved that you are now ignoring like data. Data should always be your friend, right? So yeah, you just have to make data backed decisions, like decisions that are backed by real numbers, not because it just tickle your fancy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about that for me and my thoughts about raising money.
Yeah.
So right now, I think I even advise people raising money should be the least of things you should think about. If the thing can be maintained by just one or two people, small, I would rather you build it to a certain level. You know when it's good enough and you are able to, if anything you spend money at all, again I will agree it's marketing spend, but you want to be strategic about that and you don't just go shooting in every direction. You aim, you target, and then you shoot rather than just be all over the place.
Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. And I think you also mentioned at a point you had to let go, right? How
Yeah,
did you actually realize when you needed to let go, and how did you actually like go through the process of letting go?
I'm telling you, it was one of the most difficult things ever. If I'm being honest, I didn't even think I've actually let go properly. So I think the first thing I did was to go to my LinkedIn and just delete the whole experience because I couldn't see myself ending it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll never see anything about StudExpress. Yeah,
Wow.
I couldn't just come to the realization of ending, like from this year
Yeah, all
to
the
this
effort
year.
you put in. Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, but then life happens and I kept postponing that. Oh, okay, let me re-strategize it and reheat it again. I can't. This thing has potential. So startup process was like Groupon. I don't heard of Groupon before. People that stay in Europe know about Groupon. It's like a somehow like a Groupon model, like get a Whopper.
Okay.
So to be quite honest, it was very painful knowing that when you work on something personally, the amount of effort, like the brand becomes part of you.
Yeah.
Like you are the brand. Like it's very difficult. But then again, as I say, data should be your friend. Someone calls me man of data because of the past experiences I've had. I've become so inclined to data that if anything is about to happen or you are supposed to convince me to do something, the first thing I will be asking is point me in the direction of the data that support this because apart from God, all men are liars except data. So data numbers don't lie unless they are manipulated. Again, that's by human being trying to lie. So
Yeah.
uh, data, yeah, making data back decisions would be the best thing that anybody could actually do for themselves, even beyond trying to build your personal life as well. If you are being honest with yourself, there are a lot of data points on you as a human being, as a person. I'm sure people building tools for productivity management, all of that stuff,
Yeah.
using AI, you agree with me. There's so much data point around you as an individual. And if you're able to actually gather them and be honest with yourself, one of the most difficult things we don't know how to do as humans is to be honest with ourselves because it's very difficult to see yourself, you know, once you see yourself in the face or look in the mirror and tell yourself that, man, this one it's a loss. But the moment you master that, I think you've learned the art of detachment.
Yeah.
You should become a because it helps you move faster. You are not like attached to a particular thing. It helps you move faster, iterate faster, feel faster. And guess what? Whoever feels faster several times, it's only a matter of time before they hit gold because they are not stuck on one thing for a long time.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Okay, okay, right. So I think while you were talking, you mentioned a Groupon model. Is that just
Yeah.
short for like group coupon?
Well, I don't know, but Groupon you can Google it. That's the name actually.
Okay.
It's a company in Europe. They operate in Europe and I think America. If I'm not, yeah, I think
Oh, okay.
they sell heavily discounted stuff, so you can check them. So
Okay.
StudXpress was like almost like Groupon, but like on a smaller scale.
Yeah. Okay. 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 That's fine. All right. So I think you mentioned, I know you said you don't really like talking about it, but I need to ask. You mentioned the platform you built, right? The XOXOGH. It was mainly like
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
experiment, right? What was your
Yeah, it was actually.
finding? Yeah, what was your finding? What was your conclusion from the experiment?
Trust me, you don't want to know.
No, 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 no. We want to know. Everyone watching wants to know.
You know, you'll find out the hardest truth about our generation, which you already know, but you just wouldn't want to accept. Even me wouldn't want to. If not that, like I've been like a
Actually
front
seen it.
runner for this particular stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we put SOSO to sell condoms, right?
yeah.
But nobody ended up buying condoms.
What?
So I want you to guess the best selling products for SOSO.
It's either contraceptive pills or I'm not sure if he sold um,
So yeah, the
termination
guy.
pills.
So we had like different categories. We had condoms, we had contraceptives, there was lubricants, then there were aphrodisiacs, and there were sex toys, then there was test kits. So that's like
Okay,
about different categories.
okay.
The leading category was contraceptives, just like you rightfully mentioned.
Wow, okay.
Top selling brand was Lydia.
Wow.
Um, then came after contraceptives came aphrodisiacs, and the
Mm-hmm.
top selling brand was Tiger. That's spray. Is that the name? Yeah. No, Dragon. Sorry, Dragon. I can't remember the name. So
Okay.
dragon spray and all sort of aphrodisiacs, right?
Yeah.
Then was followed by test kits, pregnancy test kits,
Uh-huh.
and then nobody was buying condoms. Only once in
Wow.
a while. So condoms are always like an add-on. Nobody buys
Yeah.
condom and just buy condom.
They'd
For
rather,
whoever buys condom, they have or either bought it in conjunction with an aphrodisiac or maybe a test kit. A very weird, pairing.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow. There must be a lot of like useful data from that. I can
A
imagine.
lot. A lot that I don't want to make public, so that's fine. Because then it was an anonymous platform. We
Yeah,
were
yeah,
not
yeah,
keeping,
yeah,
so we
yeah.
don't know your identity, but we had sales data. The sales data. So
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of
if it's mainly anonymous and it's not linked to
oh yes,
anyone,
anonymous. It's still
potentially,
live. It's still live right now. So feel free to check it out. XOXOGH.com. We've not taken it
yeah,
down yet.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's still live.
I
It's
mean,
anonymous. You
potentially,
don't need to sign up to buy anything.
okay, okay. Yeah,
You just go
definitely.
and get
Then yeah, I think you could look into making the data like taking out maybe the very controversial things if necessary, and then making the data available. Because I think it might help
oh
certain people in
nah,
certain industries be able to, I don't know,
that
strategize.
data, I'm not sure. I could speak about the insights, but ever making the data open source, I'm going to be lying. That's not going to happen.
Okay, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so just out of curiosity, where did the sex toys place on that list?
Well, to be honest, there were no. We couldn't sell a lot of sex toys. It mainly had to do with distribution. So
Yeah.
one of the things that crippled SOSO, like one of the challenges we had was logistics and distribution.
Okay.
Because it was anonymous, and then we were delivering. What we were known for was for speed and anonymity for our
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
Because everything we were selling was the least you could find would be like 200% the price you get it in the pharmacy.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was quite expensive. I will still have
Yeah.
people buying. So it tells you a lot about when
Yeah, they really
people,
value, yeah.
yeah, when there's a need, people are willing to pay. So when we were delivering, at odd hours. I remember myself and Zion, we delivered how do you call it, a pill, contraceptive,
Yeah.
somewhere around 2 a.m. at Brunei, 2 a.m. And that's what people laughed about us because
Always
when you need it,
available. Yeah.
when you are in their need, we will show up and we'll keep it anonymous. People loved us for that.
Wow,
And the
interesting.
other, yeah, so there were a few challenges because the drugs that people were taking internally, we were not buying them and keeping them and delivering because that's dangerous, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
were
yeah.
selling as a third party. When you order, we go to the pharmacy and buy for you because we don't want a situation where you know you have to be a bit cautious. In as much as I know, I could be. Some people could actually identify me as a reckless person because they think I move very fast and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
I also think a lot about regulation. I'm a big fan of compliance because if there's no compliance, then the world will be in chaos. And when there's chaos, then there's no business. And as a
Yeah.
businessman, I wouldn't want chaos. So yeah. So sometimes somebody others we were just lucky, at when you go to where we had a footbridge in KNST. That area was the name. I can't even know. I can't. I've just forgotten the name of all the places. So there was a place that we had a 247 pharmacy. That
Yeah.
was the only reason why we could deliver even if somebody orders at 3 a.m. Get a home.
Yeah.
Yep. So those were the few challenges we had:
Okay.
logistics and yeah, mainly logistics and distribution.
Yeah. I'm
Mainly,
guessing with
but
the distribution, you guys are actually like walking most of the time.
I was working. There was no you guys. It was I. And one, my friends who join me when it's late, because we work in the evening already, they just join me and we do. But mostly
Yeah.
Zion. There was a
Yeah.
time I had to go and worry Kelvin. You know Kelvin, right? In my class. Yes, to talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To take me, I think was it Kelvin or Scotty? I think Kelvin to take me all the way to this hostel off campus, Gaza,
Yeah.
to deliver an item because then I didn't even have a bicycle. The person's bicycle I was going to use was not around.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So,
And
mhm.
one interesting thing was that we had orders coming outside campus. So eventually, people in Kumasi that are not student or maybe are student but stay like in town
Yeah.
got to know about it. They started ordering and paying, and I was expecting us to deliver into town. So I was doing a lot of refunds. Like I just have to, we give you the option to input your location and telephone number
Yeah.
because it's anonymous. So the ones with telephone number, I would just have to call and do a lot of refunds. And sometimes I couldn't do refunds because they didn't, the telephone number was optional. You can choose to
Yeah.
add it or not. They didn't,
Oh, okay.
so yeah,
Yeah. Because of anonymity. Yeah.
for most, I just have to do a lot of refunds because I'm seeing Asokwa, I'm seeing Tanoso and things. And yo, how will you feel if a condom is delivered to you that costs 15 cedis and the delivery fee is 50 cedi? It does not make sense.
Yeah.
And we were not taking delivery fees. Everything it was anonymous. We didn't want to communicate with you. So we just bundle up everything. We know that we are delivering around campus. So you just pay for it and you don't have to worry. It will be pushed under your door in a brown envelope or a black polythene. This time we don't contact, like we just push it under your door. Unless of course
Hey.
there's no door. there's no space under our door, then we just knock. But if you knock, nobody's coming. We drop it at the entrance and we go away because you already know the rules of engagement.
Yeah.
And you're not doing any adverts, so it was basically word of mouth. So whoever told you already, I've told you how this thing runs. So
Wow.
we never had any issue. We never had any issue.
Okay, 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 okay. All right. Okay, so I think you also mentioned while you were talking, you mentioned code and cocktails. I said it's something that you talk about later. So what
Yeah,
exactly? Yeah,
Golden Cocktails have been the most fun projects, in these few 2 decades of my life. I think it's been the most fun project I've worked on so far.
okay.
So every year we have people doing, in our ecosystem, the tech ecosystem and creative ecosystem.
Yeah,
Everybody's doing things in silos, right? There are
yeah,
designers, there are developers, there are marketing people, there are entrepreneurs. But from experience, for a product to become very successful, you need somebody with technical skills. You need a salesman, stroke marketing person, or somebody that will handle distribution.
okay,
You need a designer and probably somebody that makes sense or is the bridge between business logic and technical knowledge.
okay,
But now everybody is running in silos. So we decided to bring everybody together under one initiative, but then in a party mode, so people get to build meaningful relationships,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
People get to build meaningful relationships without having to have the fear of, oh, I can't approach this person because our event code and cocktails, nobody have name tags and their positions and all of that stuff.
Oh
So you get to
yeah,
speak to people from different, diverse. We have different people. They are entrepreneurs, they are product people, they are designers, they are creatives, graphic designers,
yeah.
motion people. So tech enthusiasts, people that are working in other sectors, but like they are a fan of tech. So there's a diverse group of people that you get to interact with, and that's basically what we sought to achieve at Code and Cocktails. A success story for us at Code and Cocktails will be after a year or two or after some time, we hear people telling stories of how they were able to build this solution because they found their co-founder at Code and Cocktails or they got to partner with somebody from Code and Cocktails. That's what we are aiming for to actually achieve at Code and Cocktails. Yeah. And
Okay.
last year was a blast. We had 500 plus people showing up last year. And this year we
Wow.
are planning for 500 to 1,000 if it works.
Yeah,
The venue for this year, we've announced it already. It's happening we got a bigger space based on the experience we had last year. So yeah, it's happening at Beer Garden,
okay.
Bando. It's opposite Aliba in Osu. And the tickets are out and we sold quite a number already. We are hoping to sell more so that we can unite the Ghanaian tech and creative ecosystem for an evening of fun and building meaningful relationships.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It sounds really interesting, and I'm sure anyone who's
It
watching is
is.
actually
It is.
anyone who is watching would definitely like to be there. So if someone wants to actually attend, how can they go about doing that? I think you said the
It's
tickets are being
it's
sold.
very simple. Yeah. So just go to codeandcocktails.live and just get yourself a ticket. So you have
Okay.
four types of tickets. We have the tickets for because it's lonely at the top. That's for the individuals. For
Yeah.
the lone riders, because only at the top. Then we have a squad ticket starting from 3 member squad, 5 member squad, and as big as 10, 10 member squad.
Okay.
And all those tickets are heavily discounted to actually promote group participation
Yeah.
because a team that have fun together is likely to win together. And we
Yeah.
are all
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
community. So, we are all getting people together. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's
And
really
if you
cool.
can't remember the URL, just go to Google and just search for code and cocktail. You will be the first.
It
Our
will be in the
SEO is
description.
so good. Our SEO is so good. You can't miss it. You'll be the first people to show up. And something I'm very proud of. I think you did a very good job. And follow us on socials just in case you might want to win a free ticket. Because I'm sure we'll still give out some tickets before. the main event. But please buy our ticket because it's early bird now. We didn't want us to move it to regular and it's becoming too expensive for it to acquire. Look
Yeah,
forward to seeing it.
yeah. Sure, sure. Okay. I think we are almost out of time. So two more things, right? The very first one is a question from the previous guest. So the question is, if you had all the power, all the capability, right? What would you do for West Africa or for the African continent to move it forward?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. I, for one, believe we have a leadership problem. So if I have power, probably we'll find a way to start training people right in terms of what to do when they are given. People will have to understand that power comes with responsibility,
Yeah.
and then you are given power to serve people. So everything you have to do after becoming somebody in power, you have to be in the interest of the populace that actually give you that power.
Okay.
That's the only problem I think we have in Africa. It's a leadership problem. The moment we can actually get that in shape, we will actually be unstoppable. To be quite honest,
All right. All right.
we just need to become much more honest and hold ourselves in high esteem with proper integrity and do what we are supposed to do. We are actually not lacking anything. We are just people that have been overtaken by greed and not acting in the best interest of our subordinates, which
Yeah.
is not helping anyone.
Okay. All right. I think that's a very good answer actually, or a very insightful answer. Okay, so the final thing is if for everyone who may be tuned in at the moment or tuned in later, whenever they actually watch this or listen to this, what advice can you give? Just anything at all that you think might help anyone who might be listening.
Well, is it an advice? It's an opinion actually. Take it or leave it. Because as I said, there's no.
Yeah,
Oh
there's
no,
no
there's not something.
single way
You
here.
Yeah. There are so many ways to actually make things happen. So this is my opinion. So you don't really you don't have to take it as an advice. But I mean, I think it has helped me on my journey. First things first, believe in yourself and don't ever think that it can't happen to you. If it can happen to someone, it can happen to you, no matter how rich, privileged, or whatever you are. So take care of yourself and always keep in mind that you have the power to actually make or unmake yourself, contrary to whatever people might have been telling you. And you have to be ready to work for things long term because that whole idea of instant gratification is a big lie. There's nothing like that. Every good thing takes time. You need to be consistent. And I think time, I like the concept of time so much. Time. Time is a beautiful thing. If you are consistent enough and you keep doing something for a while, you don't have a choice but to become just good at it. And people
Yeah.
will pay for that value. People pay for value. So if you are able to provide value, people will pay. I don't think it's that complex. It's difficult to follow through, but it's not complex. Because I always say I believe everybody know what they have to do to get to where they want to get to. The problem becomes the discipline to follow through. So if you can build that discipline to follow through, you'll be really unstoppable.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for that. All right. So believe in yourself, know that it can happen for you as well, and then have the consistency to follow through, right?
Yeah, don't just make plans. Follow planning is very important, but execution is everything. Imagine planning in your head, having all you daydream all day, having all the visualizations. But when it gets to time to do what you have to do, then you are not doing it. It will
Yeah.
become like building castle in the air. Nothing is going to come up.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think we'll wrap up here because it's 1 minute over time. Okay, not too bad. All right. Thank you very much for making time to actually be here for this podcast episode. And I mean, you've shared a lot of information and a lot of insights. And I personally have learned a lot, and I'm definitely going to sit down and try to ruminate over everything so that I can actually make the most out of it. And I'm sure that the audience is also going to appreciate this a lot because you've really shared a lot of insights, a lot of
I
advice,
think
a
I've
lot of
overshared. Thanks to you. Uh, Podcasts are not good thing for me then. Uh,
oh, I mean, it's
because
definitely going to
podcasts do give you the illusion of talking to a single person.
person, yeah,
Once in
yeah,
reality, you are talking to like a large audience, but you can't see them now.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
gives
yeah,
you this
definitely,
illusion to actually, share the things that normally you wouldn't even be comfortable sharing with an audience.
yeah.
That's a podcast for you. It gives
Okay,
you
but
the
I
illusion of
mean,
one-on-one. Meanwhile, you are doing one to many. It's not one is to one. It's crazy.
yeah. Well, a lot of people are definitely going to benefit from it, so at least.
I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, so yeah, we'll wrap up this entry here, and uh, yeah, we'll be looking forward to most likely having you on board for another interview sometime in the future if you'll be available.
Sure, sure. I mean, I'm all for anything that is going to make impact and help people.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for making time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for the opportunity, Che. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
As you say, we are done. Eh? So you are done.
Sure, bye.